Jack Reed, the region's most feared wolf hunter, was desperate for the $10,000 bounty on the legendary ghost wolf. After tracking for 3 grueling days in protected forest territory, he finally found his prize, the magnificent white wolf. The wolf wasn't running free, rather it was caught in a cruel metal trap. The hunter's fingers tightened around his rifle. Jack Reed stood motionless among the snow-covered pines, his breath forming clouds in the frigid Colorado air. 3 days of tracking had led to this moment. The legendary ghost wolf was finally within his sights, but not as he had imagined. The magnificent white predator lay trapped, its leg caught in a cruel metal contraption with razor-sharp spikes that bit deep into flesh and bone. Jack's hunting lodge had once been the pride of Silverton County. His reputation as the region's most skilled wolf hunter had drawn visitors from across the country. But that was before the worst drought in decades had scared away the tourists and emptied his bank accounts. Now foreclosure notices plastered his office desk. The $10,000 bounty on the ghost wolf represented more than just money. It was survival. He'd broken his own rules by entering this protected wilderness, the same rules he'd lectured younger hunters about for years. But desperation had a way of changing a man's principles. Jack approached cautiously. The wolf's golden eyes tracked his every move, not with fear, but with a strange, almost human intelligence. Something caught Jack's eye, a small logo stamped into the metal of the trap. He wiped away the blood and snow to reveal the distinctive mountain peak symbol of Horizon Development, the same company whose representatives he'd enthusiastically welcomed at town hall meetings. Could this be their method? Secretly eliminating wildlife to create a sanitized playground for wealthy tourists? The wolf whimpered, a sound so soft and pained that it sent a chill through Jack's body that had nothing to do with the mountain cold. He gripped his rifle tightly, feeling the weight of the decision before him. $10,000, a chance to keep his business, his home, his life's work. All it would take was one bullet. But as he raised his rifle, memories flooded back. His grandfather taught him that a true hunter respected the wilderness and all its creatures. Jack lowered his weapon. He couldn't do it. Not like this. Not to an animal trapped and suffering, unable to defend itself. And certainly not for people who would destroy the very wilderness he loved. With shaking hands, Jack reached for his emergency kit. The tranquilizer he carried for emergencies would put the wolf to sleep long enough for him to work. Jack worked quickly, administering the sedative with practiced hands. While waiting for the tranquilizer to take full effect, Jack examined the trap more carefully. It was industrial grade, designed not just to catch but to kill, illegal in most states. His anger grew with each passing moment. Once the wolf was fully sedated, Jack carefully began to pry open the trap. As he worked to free the animal, his fingers brushed against something unusual beneath the thick white fur. He parted the matted hair to reveal a sleek tracking collar, partially hidden and weathered by time. This wasn't just any wolf. This was a research subject, protected by federal law and monitored by university scientists. The realization hit Jack like a physical blow. Horizon wasn't just killing random wildlife. They were deliberately eliminating protected animals. Jack cleaned the wolf's wound as best he could, applying antiseptic and bandages from his kit. Throughout the procedure, he documented everything with his phone: the trap, the logo, the tracking collar, and the injuries. As the ghost wolf began to stir from its drug-induced sleep, Jack packed up his supplies and retreated to a safe distance. The magnificent creature struggled to its feet, testing its bandaged leg cautiously before looking directly at Jack. Then, with surprising grace for an injured animal, the ghost wolf limped away into the forest. Jack's return to town caused more turmoil than he could have imagined. His evidence spread quickly through the community, dividing the small mountain town. Many welcomed the promised jobs and economic boost from Horizon's development, seeing Jack as a traitor. Others, particularly the older residents who treasured the mountains and their wildlife, rallied behind him. Horizon's lawyers demanded he retract his accusations, threatening lawsuits that would bankrupt him 10 times over. The hunting club revoked his membership. Former friends crossed the street to avoid him, but Jack stood firm, sharing his evidence with state wildlife officials and environmental groups. Investigations were launched, though Horizon's political connections slowed progress. 6 weeks after finding the ghost wolf, Jack awoke to the howl of winter winds battering his lodge. A severe blizzard had descended upon the mountains, turning day into twilight even at noon. The power flickered once, twice, then failed completely. When Jack stepped outside to check his generator, the devastation became clear. His truck sat in the parking lot, engulfed in flames that hissed against the falling snow. The power lines leading to the lodge had been deliberately cut. This was no accident, it was retaliation. With the storm intensifying and temperatures plummeting, Jack knew he needed to reach help before nightfall. He grabbed essential supplies and began the treacherous journey down the mountain road toward town. The blizzard intensified, reducing visibility to mere feet. Jack lost the trail, each step becoming more difficult. When the ice beneath him cracked, he had no time to react before plunging into the freezing water of a creek hidden beneath the snow. The shock of the icy water stole his breath, but Jack fought his way to the bank. Hypothermia would claim him soon if he couldn't find shelter and warmth. Half-conscious, operating on survival instinct alone, Jack crawled into a small rocky overhang. Barely a cave, but enough to break the wind. As darkness fell completely, his hopes fell with it. Hours passed in a haze of cold and growing delirium. Then through the howling wind came another sound, the padding of feet on snow. A massive shape appeared at the cave entrance, silhouetted against the snow. The ghost wolf, recognizable by its size and the slight limp from its healing leg. Behind it, yellow eyes glowed in the darkness. An entire pack had found him. Jack braced himself for the attack that seemed inevitable. Instead, the white wolf entered the cave and settled at the entrance, its large body blocking the worst of the wind. By morning, the storm had weakened slightly. Jack drifted in and out of consciousness, his survival chances diminishing with each passing hour. The distinctive sound of helicopter rotors cut through the mountain silence. The wolf pack retreated deeper into the trees, all except the ghost wolf, which howled loudly before disappearing after its family. The research helicopter had been tracking the pack's movements through the storm, following the signal from the very collar Jack had discovered. When they spotted a human figure near the wolf's location, the scientists immediately called for rescue. The research team had installed cameras throughout the protected forest to monitor wolf behavior. Those cameras had captured everything: Horizon's employees setting illegal traps, Jack's decision to save rather than kill the ghost wolf, and, most incredibly, the wolves' protection of Jack during the blizzard. When the footage went public, the outrage was immediate and overwhelming. Horizon Development's permits were revoked, and their political allies were scrambling to distance themselves from the scandal. Jack's reputation transformed overnight. The man once known for hunting wolves became celebrated for protecting them. With the compensation from Horizon and donations from environmental groups, he transformed his failing hunting lodge into the Ghost Wolf Wildlife Center, specializing in photography tours and conservation education. His transformation from hunter to conservationist serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the most unexpected choices lead to the most meaningful journeys. And as for the ghost wolf, it continues to roam the Colorado wilderness, a living symbol of resilience and the complex bond between humans and the natural world. What would you risk to stand up for what's right, even if it meant losing everything you've worked for?